Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the K. Lowery Moore Show. I'm so honored you guys are here with me because you could be doing anything else, spending your time, watching anything else, but I'm glad you're watching me. Tonight I have a phenomenal guest. She is here from originally from New York.
I am.
And but she lives in Northern Virginia. She's a woman of many talents. She's an actress, a poet, a singer, an acting coach, and a playwright, just to name a few. In 2008, using a separation that led to a divorce to hurl her into the field she has loved all over her life, Miss Elliott stepped on a poetry stage and since then has graced many stages from poetry open mics to the acting stage. Whether it is using her words to weave a story on an open mic stage or bringing a character to life on the theater stage, Linda captures her audience and commands their attention. Her free spirit and genuine love for people captivates her audience. You can feel the passion when she performs. This woman loves what she does, and tonight she's going to really share with us what she does. We're going to be talking about the play, your new play, but we're going to be talking about some other things that you do. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. I know it's getting kind of chilly outside, and we coming from work, but
it's toasty in here though. Thank God.
yes. So just let my viewers know a little bit about yourself. Is how you came to performing poetry to now writing and producing a stage play.
Right. Okay. So, God is wonderful.
Yes.
Whenever you think that your life is going to go one way, He has a way of saying, "No, boo, I got this."
Exactly.
So I guess as a child, I always loved acting, but as I got older, got married, had children, all that kind of got pushed to the wayside. As far as the poetry, been writing since I was a little girl, used it pretty much as my therapy, but I kind of, like I said, I thought it was more of a hobby. Went through a separation with my husband, and his whole thing during the course of our marriage was, I don't want a famous wife.
Oh, interesting. We're gonna talk about that because some people don't realize just how important that is and how that can really draw a wedge. So.
Exactly. So I wound up getting a job at a lounge which started having open mic.
Okay.
And I said, well, you know what? I write poetry. Let me go ahead and, will y'all mind if I,
So you were working there doing
something
else.
I was the host.
Oh, okay.
I was the hostess with the mostest, okay? Yes, I would greet the people and sit them. So I was like, it's kind of slow on Tuesday night when we have it. Do you mind if I share? They were like, nah, just get, somebody to cover the front for you. I started performing, and the host, I didn't have a moniker, so she gave me Lovely Linda. Growing up, I used to be very self-conscious about what I look like, so I didn't like anything that drew attention to me. So I was like, that is not going to fit me. So I was kind of trying to figure out what I could, call myself. So because I'm mixed with Italian and Puerto Rican, people would be like, oh, you're spicy. You have a spicy attitude. So that's where the moniker Spicy Poet came from.
Okay.
And then I changed it to Spicy the Poet. And so anyway, that's how I got into the poetry. And then I decided I wanted to get into acting. Actually, I didn't decide. Somebody saw me doing a poem, and they said, I want you in my play.
Because performing people is theatrics,
right?
Because I remember someone said to me when I was performing that, I didn't know you were so animated, right. And I'm like, what do you mean? This is what you got to put the emotions behind it. So
yeah, and I really didn't click the two either. I just thought that I'm just pouring my heart out to this stage to the audience, but I was like, oh, you know what? Sure, I love acting. I'll do it, and then that just kind of led one thing to another. I think I've only auditioned for maybe one or two plays that I've been in. I have been blessed to be able to say that people have sought me out for their plays.
Okay, awesome.
And I've been in about 7 or 8 plays now.
Okay.
So, yeah, God is good. But, yeah,
So that's awesome. So when you were writing poetry, I wanted to share a clip of one of our events that we did. It was our ladies' night poetry jam session. It was we had such a great time. We had a great time.
It was a
hopefully we can do that again. It was about was it 4? Probably 4 of you all in the meet. It was Kaniki, It was Felicia Scott, and it was B. Sharice Moore, and we just had a great time. I'm thinking about doing an open mic because now you can perform on the stage. We have a stage here that you can actually perform. So hopefully I can do that and just do an open mic. That would be really nice. But when you were here before, you were talking about how you stopped doing certain types of poems because you were getting kind of, put into a box. And since we don't have that clip, it just sometimes, technology, it just doesn't want to be your friend. Right. So can you just tell them what happened because you were doing erotic poetry. You were doing erotic, and you guys know I write erotic and romance material, so I love it. But you do get shunned, and you do kind of get put to the side when it comes to certain events because people are afraid when you get on the mic. They're like, "Oh my goodness, what is she going to say now?" Right. So what happened in that during that shift?
Well, what happened was there was an event in Baltimore that I really wanted to be a part of. And the organizer, he was like, you do erotic poetry. That's not really what we do. And I was like, I write across the spectrum. Right. I could write from Christian to erotic. Right. I could write about any topic, any subject. Really? So once I realized that put me in a box, I said, okay, let me start showcasing my other works. Exactly. And so then I just stopped altogether with the erotic pieces so that people would focus on the other stuff that I had, because anywhere I would go, they would request my poem "I Hate Him."
And I was waiting for her to have a break in thought, right? Because that's when I met. I want to say that's when I met you.
Yeah, probably.
And it was at an event. It was at an open mic, and you did the piece "I Hate Him," which I loved. But I guess because I am a poet as well, I try not to put people in those boxes, but I had to understand just recently that that's what most of the world will do. Everyone just doesn't have an open mind.
And surprisingly, the guy was a poet himself.
Wow.
I think that, so when you said that, I was like, yeah, and you would think somebody would be like, no. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of closed-minded to think that that's all you can write. So that kind of, to me, that kind of makes me, you telling me in a way, you're not talented enough to write about anything else.
Right. But that's what they actually do to a lot of actors, period.
Exactly.
And you all know that I always talk about unsung, because that is one thing that I hear from a lot of artists, a lot of actors, a lot of singers, that people see them and they only think that this is what you can do, so they don't get the opportunities to really showcase their wide range unless someone either gives them an opportunity or they create their own platform.
Exactly. Which is what I had to do. So I literally started even with the acting, and I didn't want people to just see me as a poet, because I am very thankful to be able to say that I have been blessed with many talents, and I'm trying to use them all.
Yes, and hopefully you will share a little bit tonight and sing a little bit so people can see. And you don't have to do anything just big, because like I said, I wanted to show. When we took a break, I wanted to show a clip that you did, because you performed a piece, I believe it was called "My Sunshine," and where she showcased her. You did the singing and you did the spoken word in one piece. People like that always kind of make me sick, because because I can't carry a tune, so I'm thinking, dang, I wish I could sing. I call it a Lauryn Hill, because I remember the first time, and I saw Lauryn Hill, she's singing and then she broke out into a flow, and I was like, you can do that too? So, and she can act, and
she's like a threat.
So the singing thing is something that I just wasn't gifted with. So it got to the point where I don't even sing my children happy birthday, because I don't want to embarrass them on their birthday, so I just won't do it. So, but yeah, so just getting back to being put into a box. Why do you think people are so afraid of erotic material? Because who is not having sex?
Me.
We're I'm sorry. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. That was a good one. Let me rephrase that. Who hasn't, as an adult, unless you're still a virgin? Right. It just seems like people make certain subjects taboo to talk about, but surely. Especially, and I never try to, down my Christians. I love my Christians. I was, I used to go to church every Sunday with my grandmother, but, used to and I mean that I used to. Now I get up and I turn on Joel Osteen or somebody and get my word, because I sleep in on the weekends. I just do. But it just seems like a lot of Christians are afraid of certain topics, although, you got Pastor so-and-so that's hitting on Sister so-and-so. Yeah. I mean, these things are happening. So I guess I don't understand why a lot of topics are so taboo or so hush-hush.
To me, I think that if we didn't make them so taboo and hush-hush, we wouldn't have so much going on. Exactly. Everybody's trying to keep things. First of all, we're all imperfect people. None of us on this surface is perfect. We all fall short. But once you claim that you're going to follow whatever God you choose, you want to start following after Him and not people. And at this other point, I think that people forget that they're human. That they can only be, I'm a Christian now, I can't think this, I can't think that. You're setting yourself up for failure with that mindset, because it's going to happen. And then when you do it, you condemn yourself twice as much as you would. If you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think, and I had to get myself to that point too, because I'm a Christian. I have decided to take a vow of celibacy. Okay. And so because I have taken that, I don't date, because guys can't understand that. Most men are like, oh, I want to have sex. And I'm just like, well, okay, well, it won't be with me, but you take care, But I had to get to the point where I could still write my erotic poetry and be okay if I decided to share it. It took some time getting there, though, because I would at first I'd feel bad, like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that, But I think the worst part was that I actually did perform I Hate Him.
Okay.
Not too long ago, for a girlfriend of mine. She was going through something, and I knew the poem is funny to me. I think it's hilarious.
It's really, I love it.
I think it's funny. It's pretty much a poem about where you're mad at your boo, and he's trying to get something from you, and you ain't trying to give it up. But he knows all the places and things to do to make you give it up.
And it's real. That's real life.
Right. So I did the piece. And I think what turned me off from doing erotic poetry from that point on was the comments from the men at the other table who had been talking to us all night. But while I was up there doing the poem, oh, she's a freak. And my girlfriend got highly offended. She was like, oh, you have no idea about her, because those type of things. So it's like,
and I'm going to address that in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, get it together.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is why I don't really do it anymore. Not because I'm a Christian, but because of the judgment
from other people.
Exactly. And that was a big part of it, too, why I stopped, because I would get men coming up to me at the end of the night thinking they're going to take me home.
Oh, okay.
What? I write the stuff, okay?
Right.
Half of it I live.
It's just like being a singer.
My man, I'm not going out there trying to have sex with Tim, Bob, and
exactly
Dick, or whoever his name is.
I remember the singer. I want to say it was Will Downing, and I remember he said that he does romance, right. And he said he had women coming up to him like hey, like I'm available, like I'm available, right. And he's like, wait a minute, hold on, it's a song.
It's just a song.
But here's the thing, and I promise not to go on a rant. But with men and your judgment about women who may even have these thoughts when you're doing the same thing. Like I always say, men always talk about they want a lady in the street and a freak in the bed. Now I'm convinced you're not talking about them being the same woman. Hello. You want them to be two women different. Because guess what? You want to marry someone who's the good, wholesome, sitting in the front, the pew. But then you want to mess around with somebody who's a little spicy instead of just finding that one woman who
got
has
it
both
all.
sides. Because trust me, we're not going to embarrass you in the street. Yes, and I'm saying we, because I write the erotic literature.
Right, exactly.
But you go off and you marry somebody you know you don't want to be with because of the image. But then on the side, you're doing the very thing that you don't want us to talk about in public.
Exactly.
Things
Right.
that make it you say,
Yeah.
So yeah, and I asked that question because, like I said, this is a conversation. If you've been following my show, the show used to be called Conversations and Confessions. But once I expanded my brand, I expanded it to just be the K. Lowry Moore Show for that same reason. Because if you ask certain people to be on the show, or if you're looking for sponsorship, the Conversations and Confessions gave that
Right.
gossip connotation.
Right.
No matter how much I explained what the platform really was about, it still got put in that gossip column.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that was disappointing to me that people would do that.
Yeah.
And so, but we can't, one thing I say, you can't change other people's
You
perspective.
sure can. For me, all I decided to do was that I had to do what's best for Linda. And so, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I feel is right. If I feel convicted in my spirit because I did something, God will get me. God will get me before I even get on the stage. For real, He'll be like,
Right.
He'll cause a malfunction on my phone.
Or
He'll do all
something
kinds of
will go
things.
horribly
Something,
wrong.
right?
I mean, horribly wrong.
So for me, I'm like, in the right setting, I will do erotic poetry again. I have no problem performing it. That's me. That's part of me. God made every part, gave me every gift.
And I really want to get someone who who's in who's a Christian, or who's a pastor, or who's just in that ministry to really tell me the truth, even if it's not on a show. I want to hear the truth about why you shun away from certain topics when this is something that you do. Because trust me, I was taught that the Bible was the most corrupt book in this world.
Right.
When you read the Bible, it talks about murder, it talks about sex, it talks about lust. I mean, those passages where they say, and he took her, that sounds like rape to me. I don't know about anybody else. And trust me, I'm not judging the Bible, because I have my own relationship with God, and that's why I do what feels good for me as well. But the Bible have a lot of things in it.
Well, what it does is the Bible uses ordinary people, tells their ordinary life, but then tells how God was able to still use them for Him to get the glory. And that's the same for us. It's the same for us. I'm not perfect. I've done my stuff, but everything that I've been through in my life is now going to be used to help someone else in their life. And at the end, God's going to get the glory from it.
Right, and that is, and you're absolutely right, because a lot of, I did an event over the weekend, Profiles of Triumph, and I talked about that, and I took a risk, which I'm gonna get more into next week, so hopefully you guys will be back next week at 8:00, where the event that I did, I knew I was going to be around a lot of ministers and bishops and pastors, and here I am writing books called When I'm Loving You and When the Loving Gets Good. But I've been working on my first nonfiction book for that reason, because same thing happened to me. There was an event that I wanted to participate in, and of course people are going to Google you, and they came back and said, we went with someone else who's a better fit. And at first I was devastated. I was like, a better fit, because I know that I can do that thing when it comes to motivation, regardless of what I write about. You want me to motivate people, and the first thing I motivate people to do is to be yourself at the core. I don't believe in success on the surface. I don't believe in being saved on the surface.
Right, come on.
Because if you're not saved on the inside, I don't care how much makeup you put on, how long your weave is, how covered you are. If you're not saved from within, anyway, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that right now, because I was about to go there.
But you know what? I take that as God's protection, because you don't want to be around that type of person anyway. God says not to judge. And I'm one of those people where I'm a licensed minister.
Okay.
So for me, I know what I've been through, and I'm on my way to being elevated at some point, and I'm taking it very slow. But it's in God's timing, whatever He decides. But I say that to say that everything that doesn't come my way, I take it as God's protection. It's okay. They didn't want you there. That's all right, because there's going to be another platform God's going to open up for you where He's going to use you and everything that He's placed within you. So I'm like, your laws, honey, not mine. That's God's protection, or whatever you want to call it.
And when you see us doing our TED Talk or something else, you're going to say, you know what, that was the lady that wrote the romance and was doing the hot and steamy poetry.
Like church women don't be in their bedrooms at night, especially lonely church women.
And because
y'all be real with you,
and
lonely
Zane,
church women, them
them
little ones with the little Harlequin or whatever that
exactly.
is. Girl, don't get me started.
Right. And they might not in the books, and some Christian fiction authors, it's the same stuff. They may not just use the same language, or they may not go that deep. Which I'm telling you, if I can do it all over again, there are a couple of scenes I might not have wrote so explicit. Because even when I read it, I'm like, oh my.
I have a poem like that. I was like, ooh, I wrote that.
I'm like, whoa.
That's nasty. I was like, ooh. I'm
not even that person, and I'm not even that person anymore. Like, really?
Right.
But I embrace those periods of my life because, like you said, that brings you to who you are.
Exactly.
So anyway, we done went off on the poetry thing, but for me, poetry was my first love.
Right.
And I went from the poetry to writing a romance to now doing my speaking engagements, which I enjoy. But it's the same thing. It's like, how do I tie my message from my stories, from my books, to be able to, so people can see past the book covers.
Right. It'll happen.
It happened. Yeah. And I took a risk, but it happened, and I'm gonna share just right quick because this is not my interview, but this is our conversation. Because I know some people when their viewers watch, they'll say, "Well, dang, they don't understand the conversation and confessions platform," because although it's the K. Lowery Moore Show, it's still more of a conversation base. But I was struggling with doing this event because I felt like I couldn't be who I was. And anyone that knows me, if I can't be who I am, I don't want to participate. So what you're saying is true. So I was about to back out of the event. But like you said, I kept getting this tap on the shoulder like, you're not backing out. Yep. You're not backing out. I mean, even to the point where the organizer, I text him or I hit him on Facebook. I was like, you have a minute, can you talk? I was all ready to tell him, you know what, I'm not asking for any money back, but I can't do this. Got that tap? This is your calling. And so I was trying to figure out how to put my story, my book into my story. And like I said, it was ministers past. I knew there was going to be a lot of people from the ministry at this event. So I took my poster of my book cover that says, "When I'm Loving You," and I put it up there. And the message was about judging a book by its cover.
I love it.
So that's, because I asked the audience to write down, just by looking at the cover, reading the title, what they thought it was about. Some people were right on point. They was like, oh, I know it's not just about sex, but I know in their mind they probably first thought that. And because of me speaking about that, my book was sold to ministers or ministers' wives.
Right.
And I even shorted myself because I had to tell a couple of people I don't have anymore. So that and
that's an awesome feeling. Like, I'm waiting to be able to say, my play is sold out, boo. There ain't no more tickets.
And I didn't buy that many.
On the floor?
Right. But I didn't buy that many, but I still shorted myself because I felt like, okay, if I only order this amount, maybe this is all I could sell. But what if I had thought bigger?
Right.
So that's teaching me not to box my own message. So, the same thing like you said with the poetry, but you do have to create your own platforms. So in your play, and we're gonna show the flyer in just a little bit, but I want you to talk about how did you get from poetry to acting to creating your own plays?
Well, actually, everything kind of happened all around the same time. So, well, while I was married, when I first got married, I started up the drama ministry at the church I was at the time. And I wrote probably maybe about 4 plays. I really didn't know much about playwriting just from the plays I read at school. That was about it. You know, I didn't really take a class or nothing on it. But I loved drama. Did a couple of the plays at church, nothing too big or anything, because I wrote very small. Looking back on those from where I am now, and I go, what was I thinking about when I wrote this? Well, I see where I was going, but this is nothing compared to what God has allowed me to be able to write now. I've learned so much more. Mm-hmm. But I put that, like I said, I put it to the side, and then I just said, okay. When I started acting, started being in productions, I started seeing people's play their scripts and everything, and started kind of looking, and I'm like, I could write something better than this, you know, or this gave me an idea, let me write this, because I've been in some phenomenal plays. I've been in some that, but as a friend, I might have done it or whatever, but I don't regret anything, because every director, every playwright that I've worked with has taught me something.
Right.
And I believe that it was truly my training ground. So now that I'm putting on my production, I'm excited, because I literally stepped out on faith. No money. No money. Did I say that again? No money. Still don't have no money. But I said, Lord, you've given me these plays for a reason. I have to just do it. And I just kept feeling that tap.
Mm-hmm. That tap is something else.
And I was like, okay. He said, you keep being in everybody else's production, and I'm putting you there for a reason, but I also need you to put out this as well. And so this particular play is probably my 5th play that I've written.
Ooh, you got a little in there. I'm going to have to bring my peppermint in. Bring my peppermint in here.
Right. I feel like they're following me. I'm like, do I stink? Like, what's going on? My bananas or something. I don't know. Anyway, I have a play called Watching Eyes, Listening Ears. I turned it into a movie script, started filming it about 2 years ago. Just as I was about 4 scenes away from being done, the 2 actors that I needed for the last final scenes went like MIA on me.
Oh, wow.
So the play, I said, okay. I mean, the screenplay, I said, let me go back to the drawing board. Let me rewrite some stuff. I made it longer, made it a little bit more interesting, closed a few things off that I had left kind of open-ended. And now I have a script that I'm ready to put into production, but one day. But I said, okay, this is not what I'm at right now. I'm not ready to do the movie yet. Let me do this. So I started writing plays. I was writing my plays, kind of looking and seeing what I could do. All of a sudden, I started watching this movie, and within the first 5 minutes of the movie, second time around, was literally written in my head.
Okay.
And I just had to put it down. So once I put that down, I talked to my niece who actually experienced. So second time around is a play about a married couple who experienced the loss of a child, their only child, due to cancer. The play itself takes place a year after that. My niece and her husband experienced a loss like this. So after I wrote the play, I spoke with them. Just wanted to make sure I was getting the realness of the emotions and everything. So they told me their story, which was very...
It's just unbelievable. People that can just function after that, it's just unbelievable.
It's amazing your strength that you don't think you'll have. That you're like, I would never be able to handle that. But then when it happens, you realize the strength you've never realized before. But when they read it, they were like, wow, you really captured us, and you didn't even hear our story beforehand. So it was kind of amazing. But that felt like the one that I needed to push out first.
Okay. So it was called I think we have the flyer for that.
Yes, second time around.
The flyer is called The Second Time Around.
Second time around.
So there it is. And so you're saying that the play actually takes place a year, the emotions of what they go through.
Exactly. Pretty much the aftermath. It deals with them dealing with their grief, the husband and wife, but then it also deals with the I guess the effects on the marriage itself.
Exactly.
Marriage is hard. but then to add on top of that a loss of a child.
Absolutely.
You know, and sometimes you get the parents where they blame each other or they blame God, they blame something, but they're not healing. You know, and so you get, so that this play kind of deals with that, but then it also deals with some of the stupid mistakes that we make in our pain. Instead of, you know, going to who we need to go to help us, we're seeking it through other avenues.
Exactly.
You know, and so this play kind of touches on that as well.
And it's funny because we write on the same platform. My novels are actually about love after triumph. So all of my characters experience some type of traumatic loss, because I have a character that they lose a child as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, they weren't married at the time, but that's how they reconnected through the loss.
Gotcha.
And I think that speaking about love after triumph or the grief process is very important, because we don't teach that.
Yeah.
We don't. We just expect people to just go on and live their lives. And someone posted today, one of our Facebook friends posted today, that we all could benefit from a little therapy. So, you know, because you go through a lot of things. Like you said, you know, you went through a marriage that the divorce that ended because he said he didn't want a famous wife. So I told you I wanted to get back on that subject. And we'll take a break. I don't know. These hours go by so quickly. Sometimes we don't even get a chance to take a break.
I'm good. I'm good with going through. I don't care.
Okay. I just So what was going on at the time, or what were you doing at the time when he said that, you know, he didn't want a famous wife?
I was writing books.
Okay.
I had written 2 illustrated fiction books for kids and 2 chapter books for kids.
Did you ever publish them?
Never. They're still sitting in my. I have a lot of stuff that I've written. I haven't done absolutely nothing with.
We're gonna change that starting 2018.
I hope so. I don't know. But yeah, I had been home for about 2 months, and I was like, I really know that God is telling me I need to write. And this is what I'm supposed to do. He was making enough money to take care of all the bills. You didn't need my money. You were doing it before I got there. Can I take this time off to go ahead and do some writing? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. But then all of a sudden, he started to be bitter about it. And then I was like, well, I know that this is going to go somewhere. And at that time, I was watching Def Poetry Jam. And I was like, oh, I write poetry. Maybe I can get on that. I'm not that good, but I want to get on that.
Yes, you are.
So I was going through all kinds of stuff. But I was like, but I know I'm meant for something more than this. There's something more than this. I haven't gone through all the hell in my life for me to just be a plain old little house mouse, you know, raising kids. There's more. There has to be more.
I guess I'm still trying to figure out why some people are afraid of more, of achieving more. One of my favorite songs, Stranger in My House. I love the part when she says, is the stranger me?
Yes.
Have I changed so drastically?
Right.
Is it that I want more from me and you remain the same? That part used to bring me to tears because one of my relationships ended the same way.
Wow.
When you start doing, it's like, oh, the first book, it's like, oh, okay, you know, let her get it out of her system. And then as you start writing, they're like, oh, she's serious. And then sad part about it, at one point I was dating somebody else that was also writing. So it became more of a competition of I'm supposed to be doing this, not you. Like you're supposed to. I just don't understand that.
In that relationship.
And it's so disappointing that you can't always grow together.
And you know what's I think the even sadder point is that why do you feel like there needs to be a competition between us? Because if there's a platform for my art, there's a platform for yours as well. There's a platform for everybody somewhere. No, we may all not become, for me, I may not become Tyler Perry. I may not become, what's the young lady's name? Devaney? I can't think of her last name. I'm saying it wrong. But I may not become either one of them, you know, but I'm gonna be me. You're gonna be
Linda Elliott.
And somebody's gonna be like, oh, I love her work. Or I hate it. I'm not for everybody.
Absolutely.
I'm like that even with with relationships. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, boo. I may be too strong for you.
Right. And I ain't even tea. How about that? I know I'm black coffee.
Right, I'm something. But I may not be what you want. And I'm okay with that. And my art may not be for everybody, but I do have a story. Whether you're a Christian or not, this play, I know it's gonna touch because everybody's lost somebody.
Exactly.
Everybody's some lost
again for this play, because I want to make sure everybody you're listening to the background story, but I want you to make sure you see how you can purchase tickets for the play.
So right there, that little yellow part, http bit.ly/WELEPROD directly takes you to the Eventbrite page to purchase your ticket.
And if
it is a dinner theater, so you get fed too.
Exactly. And if you're on my page, or if you're not on my Facebook page, you can go to at the K Lowery Moore Show on Facebook, and on my public page the flyer is there. So it's actually not on. Oh yes, it is. I did get that updated on my Facebook. What you call them, handles? I don't know. I'm kind of old. So my Facebook page at the K Lowery Moore Show, you can go and look at the flyer and find out, because like you said, it's a dinner. You're gonna be fed.
You're gonna be fed. Dinner's first, so you won't be chomping through the play. Hopefully everybody will be done eating by 7. The doors open at 5:30. Dinner's served at 6. Well, if you get there at 5:30, you probably get fed then. But by 7, want everybody pretty much have been eaten.
Okay.
Then the play will start. During intermission, you'll have dessert, and then the rest of the play.
I'm still trying to figure out how I can work this out, because I know it's my nephew's 18th birthday party, and I have to look to see what time his party starts. How long is the play? Because I'm still here trying to plot.
I think the play is about an hour and a half, maybe, with the intermission.
Are you looking to do more? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
whether it happens or not is up to God, but I'm definitely praying, and I also pray this isn't my last production. I'm gonna keep trying to put them out there, because, like I said, I have a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and can you just, even if you don't do a full poem, can you just do a snippet or sing a little song or something, just a little something. So we're gonna take a quick break. Oh, and before I take the break, I want to make sure I mention one of my show sponsors, which is Balanced Body Massage Group. Make sure you visit her website, which is balancedbodymassagegroup.com.
It's wonderful.
And I'm telling you, that's right, because you got your massage preview, or what they got, y'all little teaser.
Yes.
At one of our lady night, we had a ladies night event. But make sure when you do reach out to her, let her know that Kay Lowery sent you.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and learn more about Linda Spicy, the poet. I'm honored that you guys are here with me this evening. Sometimes we get too comfortable in life. We just settle in where we are, and then we use that phrase, it is what it is. No, it doesn't have to be that way. You have the power to change at any time. Every day that you are awake, you have an opportunity to kind of just refresh and just start anew. There's so many different ways where you can refresh your lifestyle. I mean, I'm not just talking about health and wellness here. I'm talking about going back to school, getting your education if that's what you want to do, further your education, start a business, start dating again. That's another way to refresh your lifestyle. Just look at life from a different aspect to realize that you do have the power to change your surroundings. And that's what we're going to get into tonight's topic. So with that said, hello. Welcome to. It's funny because that whole with that said, another host, her show was after mine. She was at the 10. When I was at the 9 o'clock hour, she was at the 10 o'clock hour, and we did a show together. And she used it as my, I don't know what you call these things, my tagline.
Oh, okay.
My tagline. With that said, I didn't realize your catchphrase and. I I didn't realize I said it as
That
much as I did. So
That's
once
funny.
she did that, and she had the little clip, and it was in a loop. So with that said, but I'm noticing that a lot of people actually say with that said. But while we were having our conversation, my wonderful engineer Jacob from Listen Vision. You know that's where we are, Listen Vision on Georgia Avenue. He was able to get the episode that we did, and this had to be 2 years ago. It was in 2015. This was the Ladies' Night event that I mentioned early in the show, where we had the other phenomenal ladies, which I'm dying to get everybody back in to do an open mic, and maybe I'll open it up to the men too, because they always say that, well, everything got to be just for the ladies, but...
I guess.
Anyway, we might play nicely and allow you to participate. But we're going to show the clip, and I want to make sure that we got the right one. The right starting point is about 22:35, and that way we can hear what Linda... Every time I say your name, I think about that little boy. Linda, listen.
I get that a lot because of him. Thank you.
Yeah, so he was so
Thank
cute.
you.
He needed a little pow on his behind,
He
but
needed a lot of
he was
pow-pow.
he was so cute. But anyway, we're gonna hear from Linda. We're gonna see the clip, and then we're gonna come back, and she's gonna do something live in the studio. So, we'll be right back. I really wanted to do a show with her. So. Now we're going to move on to Linda. Now I'm going to tell y'all something. I invited these ladies for a reason, and then I will tell y'all, why as they do their piece. I remember you, and I can't remember the event that you used to host. Mm-hmm. And I know you said you don't do that piece anymore. But it was a piece that I love. It was called I Hate Him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
You love him, but I hate him.
Yeah.
And it's like I was so feeling that. So I was like, if I ever do a show. But I know you said you know, but...
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway.
Maybe she don't hate him no more.
Right. But,
it was a fun piece to write.
Yeah,
I
I
just chose that to not really focus on erotic poetry because it tended to put me in a box.
Okay.
So
right.
people couldn't see that there was more to my poetry. Yes. They only requested the erotic. And then because I got so associated with it, there were a lot of events that I didn't get invited to perform in because yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've actually was told that on quite a few occasions, and I was just like,
narrow-minded
okay.
of them.
Yeah.
Well, you got a serious piece for
I do.
I keep saying I'm going to open my wine. They can make me drink by myself, but y'all know I don't mind that.
All right, this piece is called Sunshine, and I wrote it because of the youth that we're losing. So this is kind of like my letter to my children. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Lord, please don't take my sunshine away. Watch your back, son. Don't put your hands in your pocket, son. Don't talk back, son. Be silent and show no aggression. Daughter, keep your eyes down. Don't try to flirt your way through. Think of your daughter's child, because we don't want to live this life without you. This country is supposed to be land of the brave, home of the free, but without fear of being eliminated, y'all ain't free to walk the streets. And see, I taught you that you are kings and queens, but that's not the view of society. But don't let them make you believe that you are anything less than royalty, because you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Lord, please don't take my sunshine away. And no matter what the media says, remember what God says. You are fearfully and wonderfully made and loved for all of your days. But remember where we live, children. Remember what is true. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, so don't forget to pray like I showed you. Because when you can stand no longer, have the strength to fall to your knees. On behalf of what's going on around you, go before the throne of the Almighty, because I can't be with you everywhere you go. So speak victory and not defeat, because he is constant and omnipresent. Pray for his protection daily, because you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when my skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Lord, please don't take my sunshine away.
Okay, so that was when Linda was here with the other phenomenal women poets. That was 2 years ago. Like I said, I've been here, y'all, holding it down for over 3 years now. Right. I'm just excited to be here after 3 years. Right. Normally by that time stuff starts to flatline, but I'm still here, and I know you guys have noticed I'm here, and I'm here in a new time slot. But that was when she was here a couple of years ago. So are you going to do something live for us, or?
I do part of a poem that I think I remember.
Okay, well, she's going to...
just a part of it, because I don't know if I remember all of it.
Okay, that's all right. Long as you know, just to give him a little something.
And y'all got to forgive my voice, though, because I think I'm coming down with something. So it's not going perfect, but... I'm not scared of lions and tigers and bears, but I'm scared of loving you. I'm not scared to perform at a sold-out affair, but I'm scared of loving you. But why? When God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but yet the thought of loving you brings me to tears. And maybe it's because I'm not ready to love anymore, because I'm not sure this heart can take any heartbreak anymore. See, the pain that he caused, I'm going to need you to make me forget. But I'm not even ready to give you full reign yet. To be so open and vulnerable, my heart won't allow. Okay, maybe the truth is I don't know how to allow you to love the very depth of my soul without fearing that eventually you'll let me go. I'm not scared of lions and tigers and bears, but I'm scared of loving you. I'm not scared to perform at a sold-out affair, but I'm scared of loving you. Afraid that this love just may actually be true, because if it is, then I don't know what to do, because in turn I'm going to have to give you my heart, but I'm afraid of me tearing us apart. Afraid that the lust in these eyes would have me cross a forbidden line, so afraid of you I'm not. Let me just speak the truth. My greatest fear is the pain dealt to me, I'll deal to you. I'm not scared. You know,
yeah. All right. I love that. I think I do remember that one too, but I love that. Something else I did over the weekend in my when I gave a presentation, I actually incorporated a little spoken word, and I actually, and I didn't realize I missed it as much, and I did forget mine. I had to actually read from my book because I just couldn't remember. Because it's been
stopped
years.
Memorizing mine a long time ago. Once I started doing the acting and memorizing scripts.
Oh yeah, you don't have enough.
I was like, I'm not. I mean, it may be there, but I didn't even try it. I was just like, you know what? Good old Google Drive.
Yeah, trust me. Trust me, I understand.
Right from there.
Before we wrap up, because like I said, these hours go by so quickly, and before we go, remember we did an open mic. No, what you call it? Karaoke.
Yeah.
We did a karaoke night, you guys. It was so fun. We did a poetry piece.
Yes, we did.
Where she was singing, and I had that one little part that you talk, but they started throwing money on the stage. I was like, and I stopped picking up the money, and the dude said, "Oh, you gotta finish the song."
That was so much fun.
That was fun.
That was for your birthday.
It was for my birthday, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So my birthday's actually coming up again in about a month. So we have to do that again because I had a girl. Now that I know what to expect when you're good, I was like, and we had clothes on. So
we did. We weren't even
So
we were singing "Say Yes" though.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was "Say Yes" by Floetry. But yeah, we had an awesome time. So just let them know how they can find you on social media if they want to find out more about your work and your play that's coming up on November the 18th.
Yes, Saturday, November 18th, Northminster Presbyterian Church, 7720 Alaska Avenue. Thank you for putting that up because I wasn't sure if I had it right. Northwest. Like I said, the dinner is at 6, but doors do open at 5:30. Tickets are $40 for the dinner and the play. Let's see. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I never use. I have Snapchat. I don't use. I'm everywhere. But either Linda Elliott, ELLIOTT, or Spicy, SPICEE, the poet. All one word.
Okay.
Yep.
And like I said, if you're on my Facebook page at the Kay Lowry Moore Show, then you will be able to see the flyer, and that way you can go to the website to purchase the tickets.
One other thing, if you don't mind.
Go.
If you look at the top of the, I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if they'll see it, but at the top of the flyer,
We can put the flyer up one more time.
there's the Watching and Listening Productions, LLC. I actually have a fan page. So if you guys click and like it, you'll find out other things that I'll be doing as well.
Okay. So, zoomed on in. That's why I love Jacob.
He's the best.
So, okay, guys, I will see you guys back here next week. We're going to start planning the open mic. Hopefully, we can get it in before it gets too cold. So, I'm going to get all my author friends, my poet friends, my singer friends, my musician friends, and we're just going to just
Let's make this a whole party.
We're just going to jam it out. I mean, like I said, we celebrate.
We might need 2 hours, though. Who's on the next time? We might share it
we
with
have to buy some time.
No,
but as always, I've had a great time. Thank you so much for coming in. Are you welcome? Anytime. So, with that said, I will see you guys next week at, I got to remember now,
8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
So, good night and enjoy the rest of your week.
Yes.
It's like you're looking through a telescope. You see